Àgídìgbò FM 88.7 ògo tó lé téńté.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio. Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to The Quest.
At the ballot box can determine not who just governs us, but the kind of society we live in. Elections are more than posters, rallies, and political promises. They are about institutions, information, accountability, competence, character, and ultimately, the power of the people to choose their leaders. And as Osun State approaches another critical electoral cycle, questions are already being asked. Is the electoral umpire ready? Is the media prepared to play its constitutional and professional role? And as Nigeria looks ahead to 2027, can we separate competence, character, from religion, ethnicity, and political sentiment? And perhaps most importantly, are Nigerian voters becoming more informed? Or are we simply becoming more politically divided? With that, I welcome you to another edition of The Quest, where we go beyond the headlines, beyond the political noise, and into questions that matter. I am Olu Okikiola. The ballot is only one part of an election. Before voters get to the polling unit, they must first receive information. They need to know the candidate. They need to understand the issues. They need to distinguish between fact, opinions, propaganda, and outright misinformation to make an informed decision. And this is where the media becomes critical. Our next guest on today's edition of the show is a journalist whose experience has taken him through the evolution of election coverage, from the days when political reporting depended heavily on traditional newsrooms and physical field reporting, to today's digital environment where information can travel across the world within seconds. He understands both the power of the media and the enormous responsibility that comes with it. Joining us is veteran journalist. I have to add that. Veteran journalist Dotun Saseyi, popularly known as Maestro. Maestro, You're welcome to the Quest.
It's good to be here.
It's good to have you.
Yeah.
Your audience must have missed you. It's a Latija.
You know, we're always together. You know, we have a bond with the audience, and we're always, with them for as long as we breathe into the waves. We're always together. They know. They have a fair idea where we are and where we're going. But occasionally, some people do ask, odd questions like, what's happening? Did you leave Agidigbo? Didn't you leave Agidigbo? And I've always said, look, I'm always with Agidigbo. I might not be presenting on Agidigbo or doing stuff, but I'm always here.
Indeed, Maestro is always here. Now you've heard from the horse's mouth himself. Yeah. Welcome once again, sir.
Pleasure.
Now straight to the business of the day. Maestro, we want to look at the role of the media in electioneering. Pre-election, during election, and post-election. But before we delve into that conversation, let's watch this video. Didon, are we ready? All right.
Seyi Makinde ti Fayose Seyi Makinde tẹ̀lé ta ló gbé wọn ló gbé wọn ní mú wọn ní wọn gbé wọn náà tí ò bá jẹ́ mi nìkan.
Wọ́n lè ti rí ipò tí wọ́n lọ bá àwọn ọ̀gá àwọn fẹ́ àwọn gọ́ọ̀nà. Ẹlòmíì sọ ìyẹn tó àbí lọ́wọ́ ló ṣe.
Yeah. So those are two different events with two different speakers. Now let's see how one of the leading newspapers crafted the headlines. The headlines, my studio manager, Didon. This is the Punch. So this is the Oriyomi story. Punch said, I brought Makinde into Oyo governorship race. Broadcaster Oriyomi Hamzat. The other story, stop abusing me. I'm not contesting for governor. Makinde tells Oriyomi Hamzat. So, on the wings of this that we've established, on the background of this, what, Maestro, is the role of the media in ensuring a peaceful environment? And don't forget, sir, there's still the Osun scenario. What role did the media play in all of the violence? Or did we contribute? Did we play a role to subside the whole thing? Generally, what's the role of the media? What is election journalism?
There's this what is and what should be. There are two different things. So I always like to deal with what is much more than, that utopian state about what, because if you look at it, people will tell you easily that, the media is supposed to be this, is supposed to be that, and so on and so forth, but the truth is that the media is a business enterprise with interest. It's an old establishment which has evolved over the years. The media does not only do elections. The media does everything. Everything. So the media is a grand participant in running human societies. It doesn't just... that's why I guess these people fashioned out fourth estate of the realm. And you then start wondering which is the first, which is the second, which is the third. How come the media is the fourth estate of the realm? But if I keep going in that direction, we are going to be waxing philosophical, and I don't think that's what we need. If you look at our country, let's zero down to our country. What does the media do? What the media did initially was to be part of the people who fought for freedom from the colonialists. So if you go into the history of the Herbert Macaulays of this world, even the great Zik, people like Olu and so on, they used the power of the media, considerable power of the media, to fight for freedom some people will say independence. I have my views about those things again, but I'll take a lot of your time if I keep going there. So, but what does the media do today? We have evolved. The media today is grappling with its own problems in a, very, very fast-paced, changing world. We're in a sea of change, where that media that we are talking about was strictly print. We've gone through, since then, radio. We've done rediffusion. We've done, and those things are mainly, the tools of politicians. And from that
you
to
mean the
television,
media is the tool of
is
politicians?
always. And at a time, the journalists, hardly, even till now, you hardly have the power to go and set up a media of your own and begin to do stuff. If you look at it, maybe you could count a number of people who've been able to cross that divide, being a journalist and then setting up something. It used to be a state thing, don't forget, in Nigeria. It belonged to the federal government. Then we got to regional states, and now, private. So what the media does is to, as much as possible, given a lot of very dynamic circumstances, make a difference in your society. And when you talk about headlines like that, I'm just cutting this to bits and pieces. When you talk about headlines like that, in those days we talked about banner headlines. So you're an editor who's sentimental, you simply want to sell. So you look at what kind of headline could sell your newspapers, just blow it off the stands. And it's the kind of headline that people will see and stop and say, I need to read this. You get there, the story is different. Not radically different, but it's different. It's not the screaming headline that you saw, which would then begin to separate into tabloids and so on. But today, if you look at it, we're also digital. So the screaming is going on the digital platforms. The ability to even manipulate the situation is much more is stronger than ever before. So that's what we are grappling with. So and the newspapers are going, you are going to the digital world. The staff has fired already. So even radio, you and I know that radio is now TV. So in this sea of change, the media too, you are trying to find your feet and say, where do I stand?
But something is constant. There's always been the screaming.
Of course, because that's what it's about. Aren't we screaming now? It's just that the distance and the decibels, they are different today. We're screaming, as I'm talking now, we're screaming far.
So where do we cross the line between what sells? Because you started by saying the media is a business enterprise.
The selling has even changed.
Oh.
You see, you are not selling bits and pieces of newspapers anymore. Say, how many did you sell? How many didn't you sell? So now you are dedicated to ideas, principles that you are pushing or that you believe in. That has to be, there. You can. I've never believed in any kind of a news outfit that is stripped of biases and everything. At the worst, you'll be biased or best in favor of the people. Like this place, Voice of the People. That's your bias. And it doesn't mean you're always going to be right. Even in the course of maintaining that bias, that this is our niche, we are going to speak for the people at all times, come hell or high water. On a day that the people are wrong, you're still going to speak for them. You understand? So there's nothing is cast in stone. There are dynamics that we have to face, even on this job. I don't believe that we are better human beings than other people in other, callings, right? You have soldiers, you have policemen, you have a lot, walks of life. Because we're journalists, are we better than them? I don't think so. But what we try to do is, when we define our position, we do our best there. That, okay, this is what we have. You have some that I have the big conversation, for instance. That's not the voice of the people, right? It's a different kind of slogan. And if you are going to do the big conversation, then do the best you're going to do in that direction. So it's about striving to do the best. Unfortunately, you have a lot of these media systems that are not defined. They are not defined. They are directionless. So
wọ́n tún wà nílùú àkúrẹ́ ní ọba adésídà road ọjà àkúrẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n tún wà ní fákúnlé nílùú òṣogbo. ọmọlá travels and tours ìfọkànbalẹ̀ ìrìn àjò ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa ló jẹ wá lógún.
ọ̀rọ̀ ìdìbò tó wà ńlẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa ni kò sẹ́ni tí ò kàn nítorí ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá kàn sáàsùn yóò kàn síbí ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá kogójì yóò kàn ọ̀ọ́dúnrún ohun tó bá kan abọ́yadé ti gbogbo ọlọ́ya ni. gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ ò nílé lóko lódò lẹ́yìn odi nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ni àbí lókè òkun àgbájọ ọwọ́ la fi sọ̀yà lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ yìí o ká lè gba ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ kalẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ jẹ́ a jọ darapọ̀ nínú àkójọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó ń fẹ́ rere ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ eléyìí tá a pè ní oríyọmí grassroots mobilizer OGM káàkiri àgbáńlá ayé kò síbi tẹ́ ẹ̀ ti lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ lọ sójú òpó ìtàkùn ayélujára tí ń jẹ́ www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng ẹ forúkọ sílẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ gbogbo ìbéèrè tẹ́ ẹ bá ní ẹ béèrè ńbẹ̀ á sì dá yín lóhùn á dáhùn ìbéèrè yín láì fàkókò ṣòfò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng lójú òpó wa OGM ọmọlúàbí pọ́nbélé ohun èèyàn lóhùn ọlọ́run.
Akidigbo 88.7 FM.
Welcome back to the quest. So, Maestro, what is the role of what's role in that reportage that you mentioned? What is the role of that reportage or reporting how the election is going? What's that role? What does it have to play in ensuring a free, fair, and credible election?
Okay, let me just let me assume that position about this free, fair, and so on and so forth. But the truth is, the reporter goes in there and captures, what obtains, and he reports or she reports. That's all. It's so simple. So if people, God forbid, are breaking each other's heads, you just capture it and report it. If things are dull, you capture and report. If the documents are coming late, if on a day like that, rain begins to fall, everything, that is what we do. Sincerely, that's all we do. And if I'm busy with my camera and I'm working on a head that's been, split, it's the business of the policemen to maintain peace. Before the elections, during the elections, and after the elections, perpetually it's the business of law enforcement, to ensure that through kinetic and non-kinetic means they enforce, they make sure that there's peace. And also, maybe you want to extend that to politicians. The things they talk about, what they say. If you have a governor who will sit down and be cursing, what are you looking for? So if you bring it down like that lofty position, if you bring it down like that, you might be in trouble.
But can we be decent in how we report?
Yes. Of course, we have rules. Unfortunately, what you are calling reporters these days mostly are these guys who are, on the social media pretending to be reporters, who are mostly imposters and people who simply believe that, it's just about your keyboard and whatever your ring lights. And it goes beyond that. But unfortunately, you have major houses, major stables who would have, anchors going overboard, not sticking to the rules, not they're just running riot. So, and you're sending messages to people who are also going to join the business, those who are there and also popular, that's how to do it.
So as long as we stay within the rules, there's likelihood that the election goes free, fair, and comes out credible.
No, that we prove our mettle. If we do what we should do, we prove our mettle, we report correctly, everything is fine. But it's not going to be, our thing at the end of the day to determine if there will be peace and fairness and so on and so forth.
Maestro, thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
coming. Indeed, elections can be as informed as the electorate, and the media has a significant role in determining what information reaches the electorate. That was veteran journalist Dotun Saseyi, Maestro. Now let's bring the conversation to Oyo State. The 2027 governorship conversation is already gathering momentum. Names are emerging, political camps are taking shape, and as always, questions of competence, experience, character, and capacity are beginning to dominate the public conversation. But there is another issue that has repeatedly influenced Nigerian politics: religion. Should religion have a place in determining who governs? Can a candidate's religious identity tell us anything meaningful about his ability to govern? And can Nigeria genuinely judge political leadership based on competence and character rather than religious sentiment? To examine these important subjects, we are joined by the CAN chairman, that's the Christian Association of Nigeria Oyo State Chapter, Reverend Dr. Elisha Olukayode Ogundiya. Reverend, you're welcome to the Quest.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here today.
We are glad to have you. So straight to the question of the day, sir. About 3 weeks ago, we have Dr. Lukman Fasasi in the studio, live with us. He is the chairman of the Political Awareness Group, the political arm of the Muslim Association of Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter. And their position is very clear, and that's to have a Muslim candidate emerge the next governor of Oyo State. To them, that is what fairness in Oyo State's governance structure would mean after 8 years of a Christian governor in Engineer Seyi Makinde. So, Reverend, looking ahead to 2027 governorship election in Oyo State, is CAN going to assess candidates based on competence and character, or would religious affiliation matter?
Thank you very much. The issue before us, the moment before us right now, is not just another election in Oyo State, but it is a decision about the future of our children and the citizens of Oyo State. And when we look at it from that perspective, you discover that it is beyond religion. Who will deliver? Who will have a vision that he will execute for the benefit of people of Oyo State? So that is my understanding, and that is my view about it. It is not just to say a Christian or a Muslim or somebody has done it or this person supposed. No, the person, the personality. And like we just said, the competence. If, like you said, it had been analyzed that a Christian has done it for 8 years, let Muslim do it. If a Muslim that is coming is not competent, his character is questionable, there is no need for that. But if a Christian did it for all these years, and another one is coming and is not competent and with good character, there's no sense in it. So our focus, and what should be the focus of the generality of people, is who is coming and what do we expect in Oyo State from 2027.
Regardless of the religious...
Regardless of
religion.
Even the personality or religion. Individual that will deliver.
What if you have a case where we've had a Muslim governor for 8 years, and we have candidates who are competent, character-wise they are not questionable? Which would you give preeminence to?
Well, personally, as a person, I think that will be beyond me as a person. It should be the determination of the voters. I have only one vote.
You're here speaking for CAN, so speak
Yes.
as CAN.
Yes, if I am to speak as CAN, my vote is only one count.
But CAN has many members.
Of course, yes.
And you can influence whatever you say as the chairman.
Of course, yes.
Has
But
influence,
like
carries
I said,
weight.
Like I said earlier, we will determine. It's not yet time. We will determine who, in his character, who is competent, that will be able to deliver. Because we are talking about the future of our children.
Okay, let me ask this, Reverend. Can CAN genuinely support a Muslim candidate?
Of course, yes. Why not?
Have you supported in the past?
Yeah, of course, yes. Haven't we had Muslim? Ajimobi was a Muslim.
And CAN supported him?
Of course, yes. Baba Lam was a Muslim. I voted for him. So without Christian votes, there's no way they will have emerged. So it is not about religion. That's what I want to emphasize here. It is about the personality and what is carrying to deliver to the people. So that's the basic truth.
Does CAN have a candidate in this coming election already?
Of course, no. There are Christians who are coming out, and there are Muslims, of which you all know, in the town or in the states, but we have no
endorsed,
and we are not going to endorse a particular candidate until yes.
Why not?
We are not, because we are not partisan.
Oh, but you just said you supported Lamadishino. You supported Ajimobi.
Because Christian voted for him. So that one is a done issue. Everybody saw it, that both Christians and Muslims voted for those Muslims that have gone. And even the Christians.
Who are the Christians going to vote for this time around?
I can't say. And I will not say.
Are you being political in your answer?
Of course no. Because the candidates, there are so many of them. We have so many parties.
How many have come to you?
Some of them have come, some are yet to come. But we will evaluate and see. And the people themselves that we vote, not only Christian that we vote, it's not only Christian vote that we bring in a governor.
Yeah, but it matters.
It matters, yes. We know it matters. But we will see who the person is.
So you're going to, not that you won't endorse a candidate eventually.
We are not going to endorse a candidate as a body.
As a body.
And we have not.
But you would assess candidates.
Of course,
you would evaluate them.
And we will tell our people to also see the candidates one by one and evaluate them.
See them one by one, or see them as a body?
No, what I mean is that see the candidates, hear them.
And what I'm saying is, are you assessing this candidate as individual members, or as a body, as CAN?
Both ways. As leadership, we can't call the whole Christian in Oyo State to come and assess a candidate. It's not possible.
So if you're doing both, it means there's no way you would escape the congregational. If you are not going to escape the congregational assessment and evaluation, then it means you can't escape the congregational swing of votes?
You see, we must understand this. Even on the pulpit, as a pastor, you can only preach. We need good governance. We need people of good character, competence, and people that can deliver, so that we get out of the present situation, which is not palatable. So when you preach that...
Are you saying the present situation is not palatable?
In some areas, of course, yes.
Okay.
We have heard of kidnapping.
In Oyo State or in Nigeria?
Generally, both in the state and in Nigeria. We are not strangers here. We've all heard of what is all our roads. Are they better off? Our schools, they are so porous, and that is why we see our children being kidnapped, and so on and so forth. So we want somebody who will be able to come and deliver and save people from this ongoing. It's not just this time around. It's been so for a long time. So the best thing to do is to let people, educate people. We educate our people. Open your eyes and make a rightful decision. And you know, as religious organization, we totally depend on the leading of the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit leads individuals and convince individual on where to go. So the Holy Spirit, if we are, for example, if you are 7 million Christians in Oyo State, and through our prayers and the Holy Spirit convince individuals, then the 7,000 people can go for one person without even telling themselves. It's what we believe Holy Spirit can do. And that is why we know that, yes, our God is in control.
And Holy Spirit can also move them in different directions.
Of course, yes.
Would that not be confusing?
Holy Spirit will not cause division.
Okay, that's what I want to get clear.
Yes, Holy Spirit will not cause confusion. It will only lead to the direction that in the end everybody will say, and we've never discussed this before, how comes about it? Then we'll say, yes, it's because we have prayed, and this is the results we have seen. As
a body, Reverend, how would you assess the present government in your state?
Assessment in what aspect?
What would, on the scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the present administration?
Well, like the past governors, he has tried his best. So there is no way an individual will score 100%. It's not possible. Even himself, the governor himself will not say he's expecting 100%. Because he's human.
Would CAN want a continuity of this administration?
Well, I wouldn't say that, because I've said it before, that I am not in a position to endorse or to declare a particular candidate. It is not our responsibility.
But you think we could have something better than this?
Of course, yes, improvement. Yes, everybody wants improvement.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend Elisha. Thank you for joining us in our studios. We hope when next we call on you, you would oblige us. So perhaps one of the biggest questions for Nigerian democracy is whether we can get to a point where character and competence speak louder than religious identity. Let's go pay some bills, and when we are back, we will have Mr. Isaac Fayose with us.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
Benefit, reward, valuable Africa. Everybody join the world.
àǹfààní àti èrè ló máa jẹ́ tiẹ̀ lóṣooṣù tó o bá lè darapọ̀ mọ́ Value Circle Africa. ṣé o mọ̀ pé tó bá ń gbègbèsè ayé ìlera, èrè ńlá ni láàyè ọ̀tọ̀ nítorí ìlera lọ́rọ̀. gbogbo ìgbà tó o bá tún wá rajà lọ́wọ́ Value Circle Africa, o kàn máa sọ àlàáfíà ara rẹ dọ̀tun nìkan o tún mú ìgbélárugẹ bá ayé ara rẹ ni. nítorí bó o ti ń rajà tó péye tó sì lérè lórí, bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ̀bùn tún wà fún ọ lórí ọjà tó o bá rà lọ́dọ̀ wọn. ₹45,000 ni wàá fi darapọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wọn. ojoojúmọ́ ni wọ́n sì ń gbòòrò sí. Value Circle Africa ló ń ṣe ìgbélárugẹ àwọn oògùn ìbílẹ̀ tí wọ́n fi ewé àti egbò ṣe nílẹ̀ Áfíríkà. fẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé ẹ pè 0901-227-3075 tàbí 0707-653-5189 àti 08062841295.
It
was some weeks ago that those stubborn mosquitoes bit you. I remember. And now the symptoms? See how you're shaking like a leaf in Hamatan, and your temperature too is so high. You've been quite dull and haven't been eating well lately.
It feels like malaria symptoms, but I cannot afford to be knocked down now. I have a lot on my plate.
Then let us treat it immediately.
You're right, but which anti-malaria do we use this time?
Not to worry. The pharmacist gave me Linsonate soft gel the last time I had malaria, and it was very effective.
In what?
Linsonate soft gel. Let me go get it.
Stop malaria before it stops you with Linsonate Soft Gel, a product of Lean Edge Pharmaceuticals Limited. Available in pharmacy stores nationwide. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please consult your doctor. Linsonate Soft Gel. Live healthy. Enjoy your life.
Live healthy. Enjoy your life.
This is a clarion call to all citizens of Oyo State that it is high time we took up the gauntlet and liberate our dear state from pretenders and usurpers in politics who are bent on running our dear Oyo State aground politically, economically, and historically. For the sake of our collective future and the memory of our golden past built and labored for by our forebears, their efforts made us the pacesetter state among the rest. Now is the time to rescue Oyo State. It is a collective task of all, wherever we may be on the surface of earth. Join the movement that means well for the people of Oyo State, whether rich or poor. Join Oriyomi Grassroots Mobilizer on www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng. Again, www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng. All your inquiries will be attended to, and we also welcome your comments. Let's join hands together, because together we can do it. OGM, Voice of the People, is the voice of God.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
Welcome back. So that was Reverend Elisha, the chairman, CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria. So, Osun State election is just a few days away. Thursday, Friday, and by Saturday, August 15, we shall be having the elections. Osun State electorate will be going to the poll to cast their ballots. Different events have unfolded in the couple of weeks. We've seen back-to-back different interviews, rallies, political statements from the two major leading parties, Accord and All Progressives Congress. Recently, just yesterday, David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, because of the growing concerns with Osun surrounding the Osun election forthcoming, he had to write to Donald Trump, calling on Donald Trump and international communities to come to their aid to ensure that they watch closely the Osun election. Is that a right call? To start with, what has been the impact or the effect of these international communities? All right, so we're going to open the phone lines. Let's know what you expect from this election. We want to feel the people's pulse. We want to hear what you have to say. So you can call in into the studio on 070 41001887. 07041001887 or 09062 018867. Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, I think we now have Mr. Isaac Fayose join us. Yeah, can we hear him? So if we have him.
Another CPR was conducted.
Hello?
To know if...
Hello, Mr. Isaac. Can you hear us?
That general hospital, the second hospital he was taken to, they confirmed him. It's
yes,
really sad,
we can hear
but
you,
that's
sir.
the fact. Now,
we can hear you, sir, but I think there is something playing at your in your background.
A very close friend of his now said, "Kai, no."
Hello, sir.
Then he told the family
I can hear you, but I think there is a noise at your background there.
All right, so that those people at the end of the day don't get victimized.
There is no
said,
noise.
Okay, they will take us all back to the hospital.
Okay. Is it stable now?
Some people insulted me a lot on my comment section. A lot of people said,
hello, sir, Mr. Isaac. Okay, sir. So let's quickly. Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic! Welcome to the quest.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mr. Fayose, few weeks ago, you found yourself at the center of a major political conversation. A video surfaced showing you with Mr. Seyi Tinubu, the president's son, and many interpreted that moment, particularly where you appeared to be praying with him, as an indication that you were now aligning yourself with the APC, or perhaps more directly with President Bola Tinubu. That generated criticisms, particularly from supporters of Mr. Peter Obi, whom many Nigerians have regarded as a preferred candidate. So, then few days later, we saw you with Mr. Peter Obi reaffirming your support for him, saying in effect that you remain obedient. How did you experience that time personally, and what would you say to those who believe that your meeting with Seyi represented a shift in your political allegiance? And maybe you can take that together with, do you believe your subsequent meeting with Peter Obi helped clear the air?
Okay, I went somewhere to have a drink and eat, and Seyi Tinubu came in and he greeted me well. When I greeted him, we had a deep exchange for about 2 hours.
A deep exchange for about 2 hours?
Deep exchange, not politics, personal life, issues. I've known Tinubu family for over 20 years. So I've known Seyi since when he was in his teenagers.
So you remain obedient?
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yes.
So what was your
No doubt.
What's your assessment of these of the Tinubu-led administration so far?
They've tried in their own way. 1 to 100, I'll give them 37.
37%?
Yeah.
So where's the 37% coming from?
when you look at what they are doing on state police, when you look at what they've done on local government autonomy,
what they've done, it has not. These things have not materialized yet. So how are you scoring?
That's why they are 37%. 37%. Abuja is developing, courtesy of the APC, but otherwise every other thing is F9.
So where are those areas? Where can you speak specifically to those other things?
Okay, in terms of more savings, even though they are taking more loan, more savings. In terms of salary is poor, but they are paying as in when due. More money for the state. Security, they failed. Democracy, they've bought democracy. What other area? More poverty in the land. Corruption is now 100%.
Is that why you are currently not in Nigeria?
I left last week. No, I left last week to come and see my children. I'm back next in 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time. What's Mr. Peter Obi's chances of winning the next election?
On ground now, free, fair, and credible election. Peter Obi will win by 64 to 68%.
On what basis? Based on what permutation? Your own permutation?
In all area. Poverty has gone over the roof. Youth are still unemployment has gone up.
No, my question is, based on what permutation would Peter Obi win 64 to 68%?
Based on what the street is saying.
Social media streets or the main streets?
I'll take from your streets. When you open your discussion, you said people are talking about Peter Obi. You said it today. Now, that is the one people are talking about. So what made you say that? What made you say that? Mm-hmm. I'm a Christian. Bible says we shall know the truth, and the truth alone can set us free. So I don't want to believe it's a slip of tongue for you.
If Peter Obi goes into coalition with other opposition, perhaps he does not emerge as the presidential flag bearer, would you still be supporting whoever Mr. Obi supports?
No, my support is to Obi alone, not to their party. Obi Papa, so okay ticket is what I'm following.
Okay, quickly, let's come to Oyo State. There was what many considered a rare moment when you publicly agreed with your brother, former governor of Ekiti State, Governor Fayose, over his comment concerning Governor Seyi Makinde, particularly the statement that the governor had offended the gods. Who are the gods? It seemed like you knew what your brother was talking about.
Yeah, because he didn't get to that position by himself. Some people helped Seyi to get there.
And those people are the gods Seyi have now offended.